But, I don't know. Kinda douchey in my opinion. Hey everybody, this video does once again bring us down here into the library because I've got another week's worth of reviews for you guys. So we're going to take a look at all the titles I've recently checked out, and I'll give you my hopefully brief thoughts on every single one. Alright, so the first title here is one I've been wanting to see for a very long time. This is actually my first ever viewing of this movie. I don't know why I waited so long. Paths of Glory. Oh my gosh, was this great. Set in World War I, Kirk Douglas is fantastic in this film. I love the war setting of it, the war side of the story, and then how it transforms into this kind of like courtroom drama and all the craziness, and how it doesn't necessarily have the most happiest of endings. I mean, not trying to spoil things too much for you guys here. I don't want to get too into the story because if I did, I would probably spoil the whole thing, but it's just told beautifully. This was so amazingly well done. This is a Stanley Kubrick movie, so for that reason alone, you can kind of assume that the cinematography is going to be done really well. It's going to be shot beautifully, and it was. The whole battlefield and them being in the trenches, I mean, the whole thing was filmed amazingly. If you're a fan of Stanley Kubrick, you know, the way he films his movies and his form of cinematography, you're going to know what to expect from this movie. So amazing, fantastic. I cannot recommend this one enough. Like I said, I don't know why it's taken me so long to get around to watching this, but I'm so happy I did. I can see myself watching this movie over and over and over again. It was just amazing. I loved every single second of this film. So definitely see this one again. Very interesting story set in World War I. Again, it's kind of half war movie, half courtroom drama. Just, you know, like I said, the ending of it is I love the way this movie kind of works out in the end. It's fantastic. So, all right, I want to tell you guys more, but I'm not going to. I don't want to spoil things. So, Paths of Glory, definitely one we're checking out. I actually watched this just before Kirk Douglas passed away, and then the day he did pass away, I actually came across this really cool Kirk Douglas box set. So, in some weird kind of twisted way, I think I'm kind of responsible. So since I had just watched Paths of Glory, I was kind of in this World War I kick, so I decided to pop in the Blue Max. This was okay. I really didn't care too much for this one. I didn't hate this movie, but at the same time, it was just really long. What is the runtime on this film? 150 minutes. It felt even longer than that. It just went on and on and on. There, you know, the Blue Max is this medal you get from shooting down planes, and there's kind of this rivalry between two hot shots, and it's actually a really interesting story. It just should have been cut down so much shorter. That's my issue with this. I like the idea of you know, again, the World War I setting, the two fighter pilots going up against each other and trying to shoot down as many planes. They're both interested in this Blue Max medal, and then the ending where there's some how to put the ending. Again, I don't want to spoil it because there is definitely a bit of a twist ending in this, but it's not, again, not such a happy ending, and I like that. Sometimes I like when movies don't end necessarily on a good note. There's some people kind of going against each other and setting people up for some nasty falls and whatnot. So I actually liked the story. I would say the plot of this movie, the storyline is great, the acting is great. This movie could have been really good had it just been cut down significantly to just kind of the parts of the movie we really need to see, kind of the parts of the movie that really help the story along, not all the random filler and just kind of dialogue that sort of put me to sleep at times. So again, way too long of a movie. Should have been cut down to a much better film. Had they done that, it probably would have been a bit better. But in the end, can't really recommend this one. Like I said, story's good. It is a good story, but it's just not executed very well. Alright, and then I had to watch Cold Pursuit, and oh my gosh, I loved it. Now this is what it is. It's a popcorn movie. It is just Liam Neeson kicking some butt. I mean, if you've seen the Taken movies, you know what you're getting yourself into. In fact, I think it's in, I believe it's Daddy's Home 2, where they actually kind of make a joke about this Liam Neeson movie, and how he's doing some crazy, ridiculous sort of like Taken type stuff. When this movie came out, I was like, are they actually making that movie? Because the plot of the fake movie in that other movie sounds almost like this movie. It's crazy. So it's fun. Again, Liam Neeson, some bad stuff happens to his kid, and he's gonna go kick some butts and get his revenge for his child. It's fun. Again, it's a popcorn movie. It's not meant to be taken seriously. Don't look too much into this one. Just expect Liam Neeson to be kicking some butt. Laura Dern is also in this movie, which of course, yeah, I'm all for. But she's in the movie for like 15 minutes, and then she literally just disappears. It's so weird. I understand the whole thing about, she doesn't take the death of her kid very well. She kind of goes like badass crazy, and she leaves her husband, and you think maybe they'd reconcile her, or she'd come back, or he'd go after her and find her. She just leaves. Like, she just disappears. She's no longer in the movie, never comes back, just gone. It's kind of bizarre how she just disappears. And I mean, it's Laura Dern. She should be in the movie more than Liam Neeson. But anyway, this movie was great. I love this movie. It's popcorn, it's goofy, it's ridiculous, it is over the top, but because of that, it's actually a pretty fun watch. So I like this one. I would recommend checking out Cold Pursuit. If you like cheesy action movies, you're gonna love this one. Next up was a movie that I had to check out really because of the Rickster. He's a big fan of this movie, and I really wanted to see what it was all about, and that was Good Boys. I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was pretty funny. These kids in this crazy kind of adventure they have to go on. My only concern is, not concern, but my only issue I'd say with the movie was the kids were kind of, I don't know, dumb and very naive at times. There were a lot of things I'm like, at that age, I kind of knew this, and I knew I should do that, I knew I shouldn't do that, I knew what this was and what that was, and these kids just seemed kind of dumb at times, in a way, but still, it was very funny. I mean, the whole thing about this movie, of course, is that the kids, it's such crude humor, and the kids have such a big potty mouth and whatnot, which I think probably might be the case with kids these days. In fact, even when I was a kid, I remember when I was out with my friends and stuff, I would definitely use words that I wouldn't use around my parents. Sure, I think we were all probably that. I don't know if we were quite this crazy with it. I mean, the kids in this curse quite a bit. That's why there's a nice big R rating on the front. They want you to know this movie's about kids being a little raunchy, but it was actually a fun movie. I'd recommend this one if you just want to see some kids on this crazy adventure they have to go on, and all the craziness that ensues from this sort of adventure they have to go on, but with a whole bunch of potty humor and foul language thrown in the mix. This is one to watch. So I didn't think this movie was anything overly amazing, and it didn't blow me away. I'm not going to tell you guys this movie was just phenomenal, but it was a decent watch. It was enjoyable. If you've been wanting to check out Good Boys, I would say it is worth at least a watch. Definitely worth popping in and checking out. So I liked it, didn't love it, but still, it was pretty good, and I would say this is one you should see. And then yet another title I had to watch because of the Rickster, and that is League of Ordinary Gentlemen. This I actually picked up because of Rick. We found this at I believe a Goodwill we were in, and he's like, oh my gosh, it's this movie, and I'm like, well, what the heck is that? And he told me a little bit about it. It's about bowling. It's a documentary about bowling, all about the what is it? PBA, and they're basically the kind of the NBA or the NFL or whatever of bowling, and how they were, bowling was like big back in the day. Bowling was like the most watched sport on TV, which is crazy to think that was ever the thing. I mean, I used to bowl back in the day, but I know bowling was definitely bigger back in like the 80s, more so than it is now, obviously. But I didn't realize it was quite that big even. But apparently at one point, I guess probably 80s and back, they were showing stuff from like a long time ago, like 50s and whatnot. Bowling was huge. People used to watch it all the time. Most watched sport, big money, and then it just kind of got to the point where nobody was really watching bowling anymore, and it's all about this comeback, and I'm trying to like bring back bowling, and I don't know if I'd say it was necessarily successful. I mean, they seem to do kind of okay, but I don't know. Does anybody really talk about bowling too much these days? God, I haven't been bowling it forever. I need to go bowling. I used to be on a bowling league when I was a little kid. Again, bowling in the 80s. I miss it. My mom was on a bowling league too. Fun times. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about all the cigarette smoke I probably breathed in as a child hanging out in that bowling alley. Not good. Anyway, so yes, this is an actual legit documentary about them trying to put this whole bowling tournament back on. It is fun to watch because you have these bowlers, these professional bowlers who, you know, some are very down to earth. Some are just like, yeah, I'm, you know, a bowler. I'm good at what I do. I just bowl. And some take it way too seriously and are way over the top and way full of themselves and think they're like the gods of bowling. And it's hilarious watching these different types of people compete with each other and interact with each other and you know, listening to what they have to say about bowling and stuff. It's pretty amusing. So yeah, I'd actually recommend this one if you just like weird documentaries, and I do like weird documentaries. I mean, I like documentaries just period, but add something kind of weird and interesting into the mix, and I'm even more on board. And I mean, it's about bowling. It's kind of weird and interesting. So yeah, League of Ordinary Gentlemen. If you like your documentaries kind of weird but fun, yeah, this is one to see. Then I checked out a documentary that I really knew nothing about. Like going into this one, I didn't even know who this guy was. This is Diary of a Deadbeat. The story of Jim Van Bieber. Am I saying that right? Van Bieber? I hope I'm saying that right. This, I mean, documentary about him. He's a filmmaker, and apparently he made some, like, low-budget films back in the day that were kind of, they got popular in, like, a certain, like, niche community, and as that, he kind of has some fame and notoriety because of these films he made, and he hasn't really done, like, a lot after that, but he's still kind of like praised, and conventions love having him out, and people like worship this guy and whatnot. Though they don't paint him in the greatest light, he kind of comes off as a bit of a douche. I mean, times where he's getting drunk on stage, and the way he's acting with people, and the way he talks very full of himself and puts down other people, doesn't seem like the nicest guy in the world. And honestly, I don't really get the hype of why people love this guy, because they show a bit of it, you know, some of the movies he put together, and they seem like they're kind of like okay, fun, low budget films, but nothing really to like go crazy about. And then seeing as this guy's not really, you know, all there to begin with, I don't know if I'd be like worshiping some guy who kind of comes off this way. And then, like I said, after that, he didn't really do like a whole lot. So it's not even like he kept really up with his career very much. I mean, kind of, sort of, but not to the point where he probably should have kept up with it. So it was an interesting documentary. I mean, I did enjoy this one. It was a fun watch because I got to learn about this guy who I mean, Jim Van Bieber, if I'm saying that right. Probably not. Yeah, got to learn all about him. So, interesting documentary. It was fun. Would I recommend it? Yes, I actually would. I would say this it is worth checking out. I don't know. I don't really have much more to say about this one. It was just kind of okay. It is worth checking out if you're into documentaries, or maybe you're into Jim here. I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name again. If you're into Jim, yeah, I'd say it's worth checking out. For me, again, I did not know his work. I was not familiar with his work, but the guy is praised. The guy is loved. People care about him very much. I mean, they made a documentary about him, obviously, but I don't know. Kind of douchey, in my opinion. And the last title I have to show you guys is one of those titles that I'm kind of thinking, why am I even reviewing this title? Because many of you guys are going to have no interest in this whatsoever. This is More Things That Aren't There Anymore. This is all about stuff from the Delaware Valley, which is sort of where I kind of live. The Philadelphia, kind of thing from like Philadelphia area to like Atlantic City area. Sort of the Delaware Valley kind of spot, sort of radius. So it's all about stuff like that. So they talk about places in Atlantic City and places in Philadelphia. And for me, this is really exciting because I live right outside Philadelphia. So of course I go down to, you know, I go into Jersey and down to Atlantic City and the Jersey Shore and the whole surrounding Philadelphia area quite a bit. Spent a lot of I've been here my whole life. So I spent all my life in this area. Hearing about all these things that were once there, these great buildings and all this really cool stuff that once existed, that isn't there anymore, and now what has taken its place, or what maybe is still kind of there but in a different sort of way, it's very interesting to watch. This is the kind of stuff I'm really into. I mean, documentaries about people or about bowling, sure, they're interesting. I enjoy them, but something about, I don't know, like history and an architecture and kind of like roadside things, if you sort of kind of will. This is the kind I'm getting choked up. This is the kind of stuff that gets me really excited. I love these documentaries. In fact, this is the sequel to Things That Aren't There Anymore, which I also own. I think at one point I probably did, long time ago, probably reviewed. So I've seen both of them. I love both of these. I will watch these over and over and over again. They are great. But like I said, probably, I don't know, 98% of you out there have no interest in this because you're not from the Delaware Valley, or if you are from the Delaware Valley, maybe you just don't have any interest in this. But for the little niche market of people from the Delaware Valley who love history, this is cool. This was awesome. This was such a great watch. I loved it. So fantastic. If it seems like something you're into, definitely worth checking out. Although to be honest, even if I wasn't from the Delaware Valley, I'd love this. It could be from, like, you know, Savannah place in Georgia, and I'd be like, I want to see what isn't there anymore. I love that kind of crap. What can I say? So I don't know. I'm weird. Check it out if you want. All right, guys, there you go. That's it for another week's worth of reviews for you guys. Hopefully you're enjoying these review videos. A lot of you guys have been leaving very nice comments about these. Trying to keep up with these reviews for you guys. Again, like I said, I'm not the biggest reviewer in the world. It's not something I think I'm really good at or something I even really enjoy doing all that much, but you guys really seem to enjoy the reviews, so I'm keeping them going, keeping them strong for you guys. Also want to apologize for the lack of hunting videos, but I might try to fit one in before I head down to Walt Disney World. However, it's a very busy week. I had a lot to get filmed and taken care of here at home, and then I'm leaving for Walt Disney World. Plus, it's the end of the month, which means a lot of like paperwork and tax stuff I got to do for Cinema Sickness. The end of months are just very busy for me. So that plus going to Walt Disney World, it's just I've been hammered. So maybe, hopefully, at some point this week, I can quickly run out, maybe shoot a hunting video for you guys. But if not, I promise I'll try to do some hunting while down in Walt Disney World. In fact, I have some ideas for some sort of kind of different types of hunting videos for you guys down there. We'll see. Stay tuned. But anyway, guys, that is it. So as always, thank you all so much for checking out this video. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Also hit that subscribe button. And of course, check down below for links to Patreon, Spreadshirt, and the Cinema Sickness store. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye. So just a heads up, I probably won't actually review this for a couple of weeks yet, but I have the hardest time getting around to actually watching TV seasons. I have many TV seasons within my collection, or TV series, I should say, within my collection, but finding the time to sit down and actually watch them, a little difficult. Sitting down and watching an hour and a half, 2 hour long movie, that's not so bad, but sitting down and watching an entire season or an entire series of a TV show, that takes some dedication and some time, but I'm doing it for Ash vs. Evil Dead. I've actually seen season 1 and I think like part of season 2. Never got around to finishing season 2 and never got around to actually watching season 3. I'm going to do it now. I'm actually just starting season 3. I'm excited. I'm pumped, and I'm actually already really upset. This only lasted 3 seasons. So, there you go. TV season. I'm watching it. I'm doing it. Stay tuned. Like I said, in a couple weeks, I'll let you know what I think.